Hello and welcome, everyone. Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Kathy Long, and it looks like that we are having very little attendance today in our discussion about how we're getting started with the semester, the mentoring program, and just being able to chat and have a collaborative session about what we need to do and how you guys are doing in your first week of classes. I completely understand. This is a very hectic part of the semester, and we kind of rushed right into this session. So I really appreciate all of you, and hopefully a few tips that I wanted to share with you today, I can still do that through this video presentation. So first of all, through Module 1, we have a discussion board area. I see that you guys are introducing yourselves to each other. That learning community is very, very important, not only for an instructor-student relationship, but it builds that cohort, that retention, and you know that you have a friend out there in cyberspace. So those discussion board areas are very, very important, especially when you're teaching completely online. Those discussion boards can also be used in a traditional or even a hybrid section where you can have all your students participate in some critical thinking skills. So think about, what question can I pose to my students to really make them think, to answer more than just a yes or no question, and have them also interact with other students in the course. So think about that as you move forward through teaching in the online environment. Now, I have a couple of things I want to share with you today, just because I've been working a lot of help desk tickets, and I'm very big on faculty support in my position here at the college. So this week, I've had a lot of questions about missing content. And so if you haven't already done so, I encourage you to log in to your class and go into the settings. So I'm going to go ahead and select my demo course here with my little minions. And if you haven't already done so, I really encourage you to do this. By default, the statewide online courses default to this home page, which contains some icons and links out to the modules that they're corresponding with. So this is a visual and a way that students can get access to that content immediately. Okay. The other thing they can do to go to a module, when you click on modules itself, this gives you the index view or like a to-do list. So anytime that you're in our IVYC112 environment, for example, you can go to that home page and click on one of those links and it will take you into the session. Or you can look at it in index view and just go to the next assignment that you haven't completed. What I want to encourage you to do, though, is to go to the settings button. And from the settings button, over on the right-hand side, there's this area called Student View. Okay, so I went to Settings, and now I'm selecting Student View. When you're in Student View, you'll have this big, bright color block that comes across the bottom of your screen, and it lets you know that you're in the Student View. This is very, very important because a lot of times we forget to publish something, which means to make a piece of content available, or we've got a link or a page that's viewable to students that we don't want them to necessarily be able to see because there's content's not completely filled out. So for example here, you can also check to make sure the links that you need and want for your students are located on their course menu. Faculty have many, 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 many choices, and we don't want to make all those choices available to students. We want to provide the easiest navigation possible. Okay. So when you get into this section, just go ahead and click on a content area. Maybe if you're on this home page, make sure that your links aren't broken. So I'm going to, for our example here, click on Module 1. And I can go through and see how the content is offered. And this really should be part of your pre-semester work. When you're getting familiar with your content, go through it in the student view. It kind of helps you see what the student sees and also make sure that everything is published and ready to go. So click the Next button. And this will allow you to page through your module content. So it's very important, once again, to go through your course in the student view to make sure you're seeing what the students are seeing, that content is truly activated, and that also nothing is missing and everything is made available. So that's one of my tips for you. The next thing I want to do is I want to go into the Grade Center, because right now we're very quickly approaching that no-show withdrawal period, which is our Milestone Two in the IVYC112 class or meeting space. Okay, so one of the things I would like to point out to you is you can go into the Grade Center, and both students and faculty access the Grade Center in the same way. It automatically recognizes your role in the college. So I'm still in student view, so this allows me to see the students, all my grades in this particular course. This is the graded or the student's view of the Grade Center. I'm going to leave my student view. And now I'm in the Grade Center as a faculty member. And you'll see that we have a list of all of our students here. Please note that this is a demonstration. The people that you're seeing here, they are actually test students. They're all of our super user group, which is that group of faculty and staff and support people who have been out training everyone on IvyLearn 101. So I don't think at this time this is a FERPA violation of any kind. Normally, you would never, ever broadcast your student Grade Center you wouldn't project that in front of the class, and you certainly wouldn't share that with other students. Okay? All of these grades, this is not reflective of the work that those students have done. This is just grades that I've assigned them throughout the demonstration process. So what I want to point out to you, though, when you go over and you want to prompt your students who haven't logged in yet or they haven't been active in the course, you can pick out the first assignment. So I'm going to go here to Module 1 Homework. And you select message students who ... This is one of my favorite new features in the IvyLearn platform. So you can select from this pull-down menu several options. Haven't submitted yet, haven't been graded, scored less than, scored more than. So in this case, when I'm trying to get students logged in and working, I can select haven't submitted yet. I then compose my message. Hello, I noticed that you haven't logged into the course and haven't completed any assignments at this point in time. You're in danger of being dropped for non-attendance. Please make sure that you're turning in your assignments by the deadline. Thank you, Kathy Long. And then I hit send message. Now the beautiful thing about this is that even though IvyLearn has identified the students who have not completed this assignment yet, it goes out individually to those students. So I'm not embarrassing anyone by sharing information with students about other students. So it goes out individually to them. A record of that is kept in your inbox over here where we have our conversation tool. And the message goes out to students and they'll receive it here in their inbox, and they'll also receive it in the same manner that you would do as well by how you set up your notification preferences. So everyone right now should have already completed their account profile, so you should have already added your picture and a little bit of a biography. That is something that policy requires us to do as faculty. We should also have established any settings that we needed to, and we should have also set up our notifications. This is very powerful. Set that example for your students. This will allow students to customize how they interact with the content, how they stay engaged with the content, and this will also help you stay engaged with your students. So as an online instructor, you're going to use that conversations tool, which is another word for messaging, and you can do that through the inbox, or you can communicate with your students through that Grade Center. There's multiple ways to do it. You can communicate with them through this forum here, which again is that inbox. You can compose a message here under the conversations, and again, this is a central way of communicating out with your students, allowing them to receive the messages that they need in a manner they wish to receive them. So notifications is very powerful. You'll want to tweak it as well. By default, all of your notifications are set to be notified immediately through your Ivy Tech email, and then also you'll see here that I have 81 messages that I have not looked at here in this environment. And that's because every time you send me a message in Canvas or our IvyLearn platform, I get that in my Ivy Tech email. That allows me to immediately respond back to you in my email account, and you get that notification through your preferences, and then also you'll have a record of it here in our your IvyLearn inbox or conversation area. Okay, so again, one of my favorite tools, and this will help you to communicate, get those students notified that, hey, you haven't logged in yet, and I really want to encourage you to do so you're not dropped for non-attendance. And again, I went into my particular course. I went into the grades area. And then from the grade center column or assignment column, from the pull-down menu, I selected message students who ... haven't submitted yet. So now I'm notifying them, hey, get into class before I have to drop you for non-attendance. I can also use this pull-down menu. And I like this tool because I can also close the gap for my students. So for example, if I have someone who scores less than 5 out of 10 on an assignment, I can send them information. IvyLearn would automatically tell me this is the students who scored less than 5 points or whatever I decide that point range should be. And I can send them, hey, it looks like you're struggling with, fractions. Here's a link to Khan Academy, or here's, the textbook, or this is a YouTube video. You can really close that learning gap and help students, and with just a few clicks on how to make up that work that they've lost or weren't quite understanding with the assignment. So this is a very powerful tool, and again, one of my favorites, message students who ... So we started out talking about we're getting ready to process our no-show withdrawals, or NWs, non-attendance. You should receive something by your registrar through your email or even your program share, letting you know the date that assignment is due, letting you know when you have to report those NWs. One of the ways that you can do it and identify if someone has been in participation or not is a twofold process. Now, in an online course specifically, students to be considered in attendance must complete a graded assignment. Okay? In a traditional classroom, someone shows up, they don't even open a book, they don't participate, but they're there and physically in the class, you're considered in attendance. In an online course, it's not enough just to log in. You have to log in and complete an assignment for a grade. That's considered in attendance. Okay, so when I go here, this is the first thing I want to do. I want to go to my people page. Okay, and this will allow me to see everyone in the class. When I look through here, this is probably a terrible example. When I look through here, all right, I'll see this person here, Rourke Crawford. He has never logged into the course, and I know that because there'll be a little sign here, and there also will be a missing information here, and over here will also, on the last attendance date, this will be blank. So this is a good indicator to me that this person has not logged into the course and they haven't attended. So that's one way that I can track or get my initial list of students who should be dropped for non-attendance. Now, you see, some people might have logged in. So we'll just use Jean here, for example. So Jean last logged in on May 1st. So even though they logged in, it doesn't mean that they've completed an assignment. So again, that's when we go back into the Grade Center. And when we go into that Grade Center, we can select again from that column. So we look by due date, so that first assignment due date. And again, I look here on my little pull-down menu, message students who ... haven't submitted yet. And here I also have my list of students who have not attended. Okay, so finesse that process, but that's two ways that you can kind of identify or use a combination of those tools to see if students have been in attendance or not. So you should already be using Module 1 and completing that in our IVYC112 classroom space. The mentoring program is designed to help you get through your first semester. It's meant to be collaborative. If you have questions, that's what it's meant to be. It's not supposed to be something that's really a lot of time consuming for you. You're welcome to reach out to me at any time with questions. We also have those collaborative workspaces in our discussion board area. And for each milestone or module, we do have, tasks that you need to complete just to make sure that you're in there and you're active and you're confirming that you're doing those administrative tasks that the college sets aside for us. Okay. Now, I apologize. Modules 1 and 2 are currently available. I don't think 3, 4, and 5 are. And honestly, I'm still building out modules 4 and 5, so they're not quite ready for consumption. But this comes at the end of the semester. We'll be doing a self-evaluation and then talking about some next steps for professional development. So no need to be alarmed. We'll get there when we get there. But again, this is a nice collaborative space where you can work with other people in your course. I see that we have someone that joined us, and I do appreciate you attending. I've kind of been just trying to put some thoughts into a recording for our entire class. Brooke, welcome. Do you have any questions for me today? I'm going to go ahead and unmute your microphone so I can hear you. Hi, Brooke. Oh, Brooke doesn't have a microphone. I'm sorry. Do you have a question? I'm going to give Brooke just a few seconds to type out her question since she doesn't have a microphone. And again, it's not a problem at this point in time that not everyone was able to join us today. I understand that this is the first week of classes, and it was kind of a shock to have something scheduled so quickly. But I did want to provide the opportunity for a live Q&A session if you had the opportunity or had something. Oh, okay. So Brooke has the question that she has some folks in her class that are labeled inactive who are participating. I would definitely put that into a help desk ticket. And Brooke, you can access the help desk system by clicking on the help button over here on the global navigation button, and then here submit an Ivy Tech help desk ticket. Inactive students are usually students who have been made inactive because they've dropped the class or they haven't paid their bill or something like that. Brooke, I would definitely put in that help desk ticket. Brooke has a follow-up question. How do I deal with individuals who are actively submitting work, contributing to discussions, yet are listed as inactive in the gradebook or people list? I would definitely, put that help desk ticket in. Someone can help you track down why that student is inactive, and then you can go from there. Encouraging the student, as you have done, to go and talk to someone in the registrar's office is definitely something that I would recommend doing as well. And honestly, I thought when a student was inactive or deactivated, they weren't able to submit any work. So that's very interesting that our inactive students are able to contribute. Yeah, Brooke, it is very confusing, and honestly, this is our first semester using the Ivy Learn platform, so things that we're still figuring out as well. I know that I was teaching a class, I Learn 101, which is faculty basics for faculty. Ivy Learn Basics for faculty, excuse me, got that backwards. And I deactivated some people, and I actually concluded some people, and it didn't work like the directions told me it was going to work. So I'm still trying to figure out that process as well. But documenting that in the help desk system, that'll help us, especially our tech specialists, identify how that process is working, and even work with our partners at Canvas who support the Ivy Learn platform to identify why or why not those students come up as inactive, or if that something in that feature is quirky. Great question. The other thing I wanted to share with everyone today as a tip, if you go to this help button over here on the left-hand side, if you haven't already done so, you should join the Ivy Learn Faculty Resource Center. This is the Click for Help button transferred over, basically, but it's a lot more interactive. When you click on it for the first time, it's going to ask you to enter in some information, and then we verify that you're a faculty member, and then we give you access to our Ivy Tech community. There are things here that are just for faculty. It's a great space to collaborate with other faculty members. We have over 980 faculty who are already members. Over here on the left-hand side of the screen, there's some helpful links and some most frequently used documents, like that transition guide, for example, was a great resource for when you're transitioning content from Blackboard into Ivy Learn. So this is a great place to ask questions. There's a lot of community support. So if you haven't already done so, I highly encourage you to join the Ivy Learn Ivy Tech Faculty Resource Center. And again, to do that, that's located on your Help button in the Ivy Learn platform, and then select Ivy Learn Faculty Resource Center. There's also a Student Resource Center. We do not request any special information from them. They're just able to access that content. And we do have some how-to stuff. Tutor.com link is located there, as well as some information about future webinars and things for students. So this is the Student Resource Center located here. Well, that kind of wraps up my thoughts for today. I hope you all are doing well. Please feel free to contact me at any time. Please make sure that you're completing those tasks. We have no-show withdrawals coming up very soon, as well as summarizing and making sure our courses are ready for this week is to reach our Milestone One as well. All right. Thank you so much for attending. I do appreciate it. It looks like we have several folks who have just joined us. Let me see. Anthony, Gretchen, Harry, and Ken, do you have any questions today? If you do, raise your hand using your little question panel or the audio panel, and I'll turn your microphone on so you can ask a question. Okay, so I have a question for you guys. I have this presentation starting at 12 o'clock. Many of you have just joined me at 12:30, so I've just went through our whole presentation. Did we have a miscommunication, I guess is what I'm asking. And you could just type in the question box, yes or no. All right, Gretchen, that explains it. All right. Okay, thank you very much.